police officer is in stable condition after he was wounded during a shootout in which 3 suspected hijackers were shot and killed at T section in Umlazi, KwaZulu-Natal earlier today. Police say the suspects had just hijacked a woman at R section in Umlazi and police responded. A high-speed chase ensued and the suspects opened fire towards the police. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Thami Ntuli is expected to address a provincial government social crime prevention summit. The summit is attended by various groupings including the police, community crime prevention structures, private security sector, business and traditional leaders. SABC News reporter Mlondi Radebe has more.
Today, the KwaZulu-Natal province is hosting a crime summit in the province. We understand that the province of KwaZulu-Natal is also top when it comes to crimes. Of the statistics that showed that the crimes in KwaZulu-Natal are high. But we'll speak to the head of department, Glenn Macheta, who will briefly tell us about the purpose of this day. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time. Briefly about, we understand that now the Department of Community Safety is put it under the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal for the first time. What does that mean to the department?
Thank you very much. Indeed, the department has been incorporated under the Office of the Premier, and really this decision was taken by the Premier because the Premier is serious about issues of crime and issues of safety in this province. So the intention for him is really to have his finger in the pulse in terms of safety issues, in terms of the crime that is happening in the province. He wants to have a direct influence, and he wants to make sure that he is really hands-on with issues of crime prevention and crime fighting in the province.
Today we see that there's this summit that is being called by the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal. Previously, we also had other summits. Did they yield any results? Because we see the crime stats, when you're looking at the crime stats, KwaZulu-Natal is also in top when it comes to crime.
It is true that KwaZulu-Natal is one of the provinces that is featuring prominently in the top 30 stations when you look at the national statistics. And yes, there has been summits that have been held before, and there's been resolutions that have been taken in those summits. And those resolutions, yes, they've been implemented, and there's been successes in terms of the resolutions. But the summit that we are having today, it becomes different in that the Premier is saying to all of the stakeholders and the role players, they really must contribute towards crime fighting. It must not only be the work or the responsibility of government or the responsibility of police to fight crime, but all the role players, they must have their hands on deck, and they must really indicate what will be their meaningful contribution towards fighting crime.
Do we have maybe any idea that how are we going to implement all the resolutions of the summit?
The summits that we are having today, I must indicate that this is the first summit that the Premier is holding, and it is sort of a launch for the process that is going to be unfolding in the province. What we are looking at is that we are looking at coming up with an integrated strategy. When I say an integrated strategy, integrated in a sense that all role players will be contributing towards crime fighting. So then today we are having this summit, which is sort of a launch. Then there's going to be other engagements that are going to be happening at a district level, because we do understand that although eThekwini is the major contributor in terms of crime, but you do find that other districts as well, they are contributing. So we are the Premier is starting today in eThekwini. So between now and the end of September, the Premier is going to be going out to all the districts, engaging the stakeholders and the role players in the district, so that they come up and they indicate what are they going to be contributing, which is what we are then going to be consolidating into our provincial strategy. Then thereafter we are going then to be monitoring the implementation of that integrated strategy.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time.
Thank you.
That was the head of Department of Community Safety in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, briefing us in relation to the plans that the Office of the Premier as well as the department have for this province to try and fight crime. Back to you in studio.